and welcome back to Quick Review Thursday. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with...
Eric Spudic.
Yes. Unlike Paul, I hate to do these by myself, so if I can rope somebody else into one of these things, I'll do that. And, we probably should.
So now we watched Shriek of the Sasquatch.
Shriek of the Sasquatch. So Shriek of the Sasquatch is a 2011... Is that what you said?
Yeah, 2011.
2011 feature film done by Steve Sessions. And spoiler alert coming up. So please just, if you don't want any spoilers, this is your warning. Okay. It should now be titled Shriek of the Weresquatch. Because there's a big reveal at the end of the movie that I was shocked by and actually really enjoyed. I'm not going to lie. So... You've seen this movie for a while. Like, when was the first time you watched it?
First time I saw it was, I want to say in 2012 in a bar in Mississippi, in Biloxi.
Oh, is that the bar you were saying they did the screening at or whatever?
Yeah, that was the screening. That's where I first
And you said there was
it.
like 30 people there and stuff, hanging out watching the movie?
Yeah, maybe 20 people. It was pretty packed. I mean, it was a great time. And I don't think they were really... understanding what they were in for, if it was a short film or a student film or if it was a big budget. I think people were kind of confused, like, Steve made this movie? And I'm like, yeah, he made this movie here in Biloxi.
Yeah, they probably, see, that's the funny thing is when you make a movie in places like, other than like LA or New York or something, people are like, you made a movie? Like they don't understand. I'm from Virginia. You tell people, like, you make movies, they go, you made a movie? Like, what does that mean? And people are always kind of shocked that you can actually make something anywhere nowadays, And so, back in 2011 especially, you could just shoot something on your home camcorder and everything. That's sort of what this felt like. I don't think this was, like, HD, was it? Like, I didn't look like it.
I think HD was still too expensive at the time.
Yeah. So this was a mini DV, was it? I don't think so. I think it was like a little bit above mini DV.
It may have been shot on the Panasonic, the A24 or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay. Well, it was. It looked decent. It was a pretty cool look to it. The movie. Let's talk about the story a little bit. So the movie is about a town that has a Sasquatch in it. And the citizens are all dying, random citizens, which, this is that kind of movie, right? It's kind of like a slasher, but with, a creature instead. So it's the creature feature slasher kind of scenario where there's a bunch of random people, they all end up dead, and then there's the two main people who are, passing through town,
yeah,
right?
I think they're on a road trip, I think. Okay.
So they're on a road trip, they stop at a motel. Then they continue going, and one of them, the guy, accidentally runs over a dog. Poor poodle. Then the dog, so they find out that who lost it. So they go and call the owner, but the owner is not there. They find out where he lives, so they go there, find out he's dead. And then it becomes like, I was telling Eric, there's another movie called, Suburban Sasquatch, which has, like, a Sasquatch killing people in the houses and stuff. That's sort of what this ends up being a little bit like. This is like Suburban Sasquatch 2, Shriek of the Sasquatch. I think, that would have been a great title, too. Which, what I was really upset about? There was no Shriek. I just thought about that. There's no real Shriek.
Yeah, I don't remember any shrieking, maybe once or something.
I don't even think there was a Shriek at all. Like, when he got shot by her, he kind of, like, grunted. But I don't think there was any, like, shrieking. Steve, man. With a movie called Shriek of the Sasquatch, you would hope that there would be a shriek at some point. But there wasn't. I don't really remember any.
The Sasquatch was only, like, 6 foot tall, and it's supposed to be, like, 8 feet tall. But
I love how people always, like, you see that in movies all the time, where the people describe this big, bad monster. Oh, my God, he was, like, 100 feet tall or something, and then you watch the movie and you're like, that dude's only like 6'5". Like he's Jason, Voorhees tall, but like Jason Voorhees is not Sasquatch. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Sasquatch should be taller than Shaquille O'Neal.
Or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, how tall should Sasquatch be before it becomes a thing where he's too tall? You know what I mean?
If his head hits the doorway, then maybe he's too tall. Even though that's probably 8 feet, I would think.
Is that 8 feet? I don't know. I can't tell. Let's see. What do you guys think? Is that 8 feet over there? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is he wasn't tall enough, like, pretty much. He was a little short. He's a little taller than Sarah French. She's like taller than me, but she's still not, like, she's not 6 foot something, I think
she's like 5'3".
I think she's taller than that. Because she's taller, I think she's taller than me.
But the thing is, the Sasquatch is so small that any of these characters could have just punched and kicked the Sasquatch and maybe just beat it.
But most of the time he was like, he would have the attack of like behind them or whatever, like when they're not expecting it, and he grab their head and rip it off. But like, he did not look big enough to rip off a fucking head, right? Like, he did not look that big, I don't think. So, I don't know.
There was 3 beheadings, I think.
3 beheadings in it?
I believe so. Probably.
I don't know. It was okay. I mean, like, you know, on that end, there was just a lot of beheadings. It felt like too. He kept just throwing heads all around and everything. And so, I mean, you know, I guess he liked that. You know, like that was his kill. You know, so. What else?
Great cinematography.
Yeah.
I like the film scratches and the dust, the grain.
I think it's more editing than anything, because I don't think they shot it on a film that does that, or like on that. So I think they definitely did really good with editing, making those scratchy stuff or whatever. I mean, there's programs in Adobe that allow you to do that, and sometimes, like, I remember I wasn't even thinking about it, because that's what happens with me is I'll watch a movie and then all of a sudden it'll, like, after a while those grains will start to not even bother me, or not even make me think about it. And I even looked at you and I said, wow, that editing was terrible, because it like chopped from one to the other. And you're like, oh, it's supposed to do that and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about the grain. Like, it's supposed to look like a 70s movie, I guess, you know, or whatever.
Takes place in 79.
79. Kept talking about things. I kept thinking it was, because it did still look like today. Like, I mean, it did not look, you know what I mean? Like, I still thought it was like 2011, you know, even though it was supposed to be 1990 or 1979, it still felt like 2011. And so I forget, and they were talking about like, what was it, Kennedy and everything, and how he was up for, you know, Ted Kennedy or whatever was up for presidency or something, you know. I think he's going to become president in 5 years, you know, or whatever, you know. It's like, okay. I mean, you know, if they didn't mention Trump, that's, you know, that's good, I guess.
They had tons of props from the 70s. They had the clothing, the jewelry, the cars. Some of the vehicles, obviously, were toy cars, little models, and one of them
my God, yeah.
flips.
Yeah. You get the car to flip, and I looked at you, and I was like, did I just see a toy car? Like, you know, and you're like, yep. I mean, they couldn't really, it would cost so much to actually flip a car. But then it also broke a grandfather clock or whatever. And I was like, as the indie, like, filmmaker in me was like, you know, like, because if you use somebody's house and then you break something of theirs like that, you know, it better be like something you brought, you know, because like you damage somebody's property or whatever, they're gonna be pissed. I remember shooting a short film, and the only reason for the short film was so that we could destroy this fax machine. You know, my friend was like, I got a fax machine I want to destroy. My roommate said that to me, and we were like, let's go make the movie. You know, like, just make this movie where the whole point of it is just fucking chaos. And, you know, that was, I felt like that was that, you know, thing of like seeing that grandfather clock and going, you know what? I just want to destroy grandfather clock. Maybe it was already broken, you know. So that's what Bigfoot does, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of destruction in the movie, and the blonde girl, Alice Ford, gets her head rammed into the glass window. That's probably my favorite death scene.
You
perhaps.
said that before too. Yeah, you were telling me that was your favorite death scene, and I would agree because out of all the whole movie, like that actually was pretty brutal in a way. Like like none of the other scenes did that.
And her brother's reading that Fangoria #1.
That was fun.
Great music too.
Music. You said that the main guy did all the music or something.
Yeah, Steve Sessions did most of the music, but then he licensed a few cues from Richard Band, who is Charles Band's brother. Full Moon Entertainment.
And then they had actual music done by the lead actor, right?
Oh yeah, Donnie Versailles.
Yeah.
Did, the guitar work for when they're in the car listening to music. That's all him.
He was pretty good, but like, the only thing I didn't buy. I think I talked to you about this when I was watching it. I didn't buy the relationship between him and Sarah, and you said they had probably just met that day or something, so there might have been like this, whatever. The only reason I didn't buy that was just because the way, and it wasn't, I don't think it was necessarily him or her. I think it was the dialogue just didn't seem like they were dating. Like, it just seemed like they were maybe friends or something.
Brother and sister, maybe.
Yeah, like it didn't even feel like they were dating. At times, because like none of it felt like sexual or anything. When normally that's where it would go, right? Mm-hmm. That's where it would lead. So I was I was just like, I didn't really necessarily buy it, but in that same sense, I still liked him a lot. Considering, was that his first movie with them or?
Maybe his second movie.
Second,
maybe.
So it was the second movie. He was starting to get used to everything, and he did a good job. Sarah, that was her first movie with them before she did Zombie Pirates. And I honestly, if I had to say which one I liked better, I enjoyed Zombie Pirates a lot more. But we can't review that because he was in it. I'd have to do that on my own. Sorry, Steve. I'll probably do that with Paul at some point. I know I will do it with Paul, probably, because we love to review pirate movies. So it'll probably will be on Indie Film Cafe at some point.
Yeah, Sarah French is so hot that any movie that she's in, I will watch. Yeah.
No, she's fantastic. There's a bunch I want to see that I haven't watched yet, of hers. She does like a lot of movies all the time, so...
I think she's done like 50 or 60 movies now.
Yeah. Sorry, we have dogs here too, so they're going to be making little noises. I think one of them wants to come in my lap. But
what did you think about the ending when, she shoots the Sasquatch 5 times and he drops down and he's a naked man? The naked man is actually Steve Sessions. What did you think about Steve Sessions' naked body?
Wait, you're just like putting that on me right now. Jesus. He was also another character too. He was
also the TV show guy, and he's wearing this jacket. And he's
I told Eric, he was like, "Oh, that's Steve doing a cameo," and I said, "Wow, he looks like he could be a magician." Like that. That's what I would have imagined him as. It's like a TV show host or something. He did a great job, and he did a good job being naked too. Good job.
So it makes you wonder if the TV show host guy was also the same guy who was Bigfoot. And maybe he changes during, like, when the full moon is out, then he becomes Bigfoot.
I don't know, because see, that's the problem with this movie, is they have that at the end of the movie. That's the big reveal, is that he was, and there was a line where Donnie says, I think that was his name, right?
Yeah, Donnie.
Well, that was the actor's name. I forgot what the character's name was he played. But Donnie's character says that it got that basically you change or how do people why don't you see the bodies of the Bigfoot? If there really was a Bigfoot, why wouldn't you see their bodies? Why wouldn't they find bones and all this other stuff? And it's because you become, if you get bitten, which always made me wonder about that, because when I saw her get bitten, I was like, he just bit her. Like, he didn't bite anybody else, but he bit her, right? So obviously, so then later when you said he was a weird, it's like, that's where the bite comes in. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I get it. And then he ended up, or she ended up becoming the new Sasquatch.
With Billy Bob teeth.
With Billy Bob teeth. It's pretty bad. And especially, like, the only problem I had with that is they held that on there for way too long. I'm like, I get it. We get it. All right. She's the, it's like, it's one thing to, like, have that scene and have, like that thing. There's another thing of being like, this is padding.
Yeah, the ending, the last 5 minutes does drag out quite a bit.
And that's probably because it's already short enough, so they're trying to get it to the proper length or whatever. Which, I've had a discussion with somebody the other day, I don't think it was you, where we were discussing the length of horror films, like our films, period. What constitutes a short and what constitutes a feature film. And my thing always has been it has to be at least 70 minutes, to be a feature film, right? Like, that's what I've heard. I've heard 70, and then some people say even 60 minutes now is a feature film. Yep. I think that's what it says in IMDb. Like 60 or more is a feature film. 59 or less is a short. What is your opinion on that? What do you think constitutes which one?
Technically, 60 minutes is a feature. So 60. Okay. That's why Dollman vs. Demonic Toys was 1 hour and 1 minute. So Charlie Band could legally get away with saying this is a feature film. And then after that, HBO said, no, our new rule of thumb is 1 hour and 12 minutes minimum after that.
Woo, my movie Scary Story Slumber Party was it 74 minutes, I think? Something like that. So
that's a good run time.
I made it in time.
Yeah, because once you get past 90 minutes, it just becomes too long for
I know.
an indie movie. Like, if it's a big budget movie, then like 110 minutes can be okay.
Because what happens is, and this was the perfect running time, because what happens after a while is you have to start kind of making scenes up that go to the next scene to make it interesting, right? Because you get kind of, like, as a writer, I know this, you get kind of bored, when you're writing it. And you're like, okay, what can I add to make the audience still be interested but continue the story? But if you have a short idea, like a great idea that, would be even better as a short or whatever. Here, we have the dog here.
There's a lot of films out there that could probably be better as short films, I think.
Yeah. So, I agree. But
doggy, yeah.
Louis always wants to be in my videos if I'm doing it on the couch. He just he wants to come back in here, and he hasn't been in one of the movies in a while, so there you go. And one of the reviews.
Shriek of the Sasquatch was made in Mississippi, and it's Steve Sessions' third to last movie because he's retired now. He said he's not going to make any more movies,
which really disappoints me, Steve. Like, freaking make another movie. One more. I want it Shriek of the Sasquatch 2, and I want Sarah French to be the killer. She doesn't even really, like, she doesn't even have to be in it other than, like, at the end where you see her again and she's already bitten the next guy.
And obviously, after she gets shot, she has to be naked, because that's the rule of thumb.
Oh, boy. Maybe we'll have to get another person. Maybe it's, like, years later. I don't know if she would do that again. But and
she'd be shorter this time. So you thought Sasquatch was short this time with Sarah French. Now it's like 6 inches shorter.
I wonder if they did that because Steve isn't, wasn't the, because it would be weird if he became a new person, but he was shorter than the Sasquatch was,
Yeah, like Warwick Davis, little person Sasquatch.
I would watch that. Well, I mean, they, produced by Charlie Band. Because, he likes those, those little people movies.
Size of a leprechaun, power of a Sasquatch.
There you go. There's a tagline right there. We were talking about bad taglines before. Some of them that are just like rip-offs of others. And that's I've never heard that one. There you go. But yeah, I think, honestly, if you haven't seen this movie yet, when we just spoiled the fuck out of it, so I'm sorry. I mean, you shouldn't be listening to this if But if you haven't seen the movie yet, or if you want to see it, check it out. It's I think you can buy it on Amazon.
Amazon, right.
eBay, yeah.
Retro Media put it out.
Yeah, he had a copy of it. I haven't seen it in forever. I love Steve Sessions and his films. He's such a nice guy, and his films are so much fun. Though I will say, out of this 2 Sarah French films, Zombie Pirates is probably my favorite. And it's not just because he's here, who's in it, but because I literally do think it's a great, fun movie. And I feel like it gave the people from this, that act in that one, a little bit more work to do, So, there you go. That's our quick review of Shriek of the Sasquatch, which I guess should just be called Of the Sasquatch, because there was no Shriek. So,
check it out.
If you do Shriek of the Sasquatch 2, Steve, you do end up making it. Put a Shriek in there somewhere. I don't. And if there was one, let us know where it was, because I really don't remember it being once at all shrieking. So thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this.
Cool.
Check back later and let us know what you guys think. Bye.
Ciao.